Okay guys, so welcome to today's video, and today we are going to listen to a sample speaking answer from the TOEFL, and then afterwards we will discuss what this student did well and what areas they could improve. So let's jump into the video and listen to the student's response.
Now, read the passage about subliminal perception. You will have 50 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now. Now, listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a psychology class.
Consider this experiment. Two groups of people were asked to watch TV, and while they were watching, a picture flashed on the screen. Less than a second, very quickly, so it was barely noticeable. The picture was of a boy with a birthday cake. Now, like I said, there were two groups, and each group saw a slightly different version of the picture. One group got the boy looking angry. In fact, he was actually throwing the cake on the floor. The other group got a picture of the boy smiling, happy, holding out the cake like he was offering it. Same boy, same cake, but different emotions expressed in each picture. Everyone was then asked to look at a different image. Now, this is a third image, right? Again, it's the boy and the cake, but this time the image stayed on the screen. In this picture, the boy's just holding the cake, basically no emotion on his face, everything very neutral. Now remember, nobody knew they'd already seen a picture of this boy. After a minute, everyone was asked to describe the boy's personality. Those who'd been exposed to the image of the angry boy, they generally described the boy's personality negatively. Those who'd earlier seen the happy boy described him, well, positively.
Describe what subliminal perception is and explain how the experiment discussed by the professor illustrates this phenomenon.
Please prepare your answer after the beep.
Describe what subliminal perception is and explain how the experiment discussed by the professor illustrates this phenomenon.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
When we are not aware of what we see and hear, this stimulus is called subliminal perception. For example, two groups of students are watching TV, and there's a picture of a boy with his birthday cake. However, in the first group, the boy was very angry and he's throwing his cake on the floor. And for the second group, the boy is very happy holding the cake. And with both two groups, this picture only appeared for a second without the students' notice. However, when the students are showing a third picture with the boy holding the cake without emotion, the first group are likely to describe the boy with generally a negative emotion, while the second group would give the boy a positive
Number 5.
emotion.
Question: you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now read the passage about groupthink. You will have 45 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a business management class.
So let me tell you about my own experience with this when I was working for a computer company a couple of years ago. So one day a coworker and I suggested we should give our computers a design makeover, make them look more up to date. Market research was showing that new customers said they would be more interested in buying our computers if they looked cooler. Our technology was advanced, but the outside design looked really old-fashioned. At first, more than half the group supported us. There were a few senior managers there, though, who didn't support the design change. One of the senior managers said, "Our focus has always been on technology. Changing the look is an unnecessary cost." Almost immediately, some of our supporters changed their minds. Even my coworker changed his mind. When I asked him why after the meeting, he told me he didn't want to make a bad impression on the senior managers. He thought that disagreeing with them might jeopardize his chances of getting a promotion by not looking like a team player. What about me? I hate to admit it, but after a few hours of discussion, I started wondering if it was worth everyone's time to argue about this. As more people sided with senior management, I started to feel like I was the only one holding up the vote. Everyone else seemed to think change wasn't necessary, so I voted against my own idea in the end. So we unanimously decided to stay with the current old-looking design. But this decision ended up costing us a lot of money. That same year, our competitor came out with a new design that attracted some of our customers and prevented us from profiting on potential new customers.
Explain groupthink and its effects using the example of the computer company.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
Groupthink happens when people tend to change their thoughts to meet the group's opinion. For example, when the professor was working in a computer company, he and his coworker wanted to change their computer's outlook to make it look up to date. And at first, more than half of the colleagues supported, but some senior workers disagree with this idea. So a lot of them changed their mind, and even his coworker, and because they didn't want to give a bad impression to the senior worker, to make it difficult for them to get a promotion. And in the end, the professor himself voted against his own idea.
Okay, so what can we say about the students' response? Well, overall, they did a pretty good job answering the question. So let's break the response down. So first of all, let's talk about the three criteria the examiner will be looking for. Criteria number one is delivery. So that means, is this person speaking at a natural speed? And is their speech clear and good pronunciation and good intonation? Now you notice from her answer, she was very easy to understand. She was very clear, pronunciation was very good. So under this, we can say she did a very good job. There isn't really much to improve here because also she was speaking at a reasonable speed. She sounded very natural when she was speaking. However, the second area, there is room for improvement. So the second area is language use. Now under language use, this includes the use of correct grammar and properly using vocabulary. So what can we say here? Well, looking at her response, we can say there are some issues with grammar. So for example, when referring to the past, talking about the experiment, she still used the present simple. So for example, she talked about the two groups who are watching TV rather than the groups that were watching TV. So she needs to work on that area, particular area there in terms of grammar. She also made a few other mistakes grammar-wise. For example, she spoke about the students seeing a picture without the students notice. What she meant to say was without the students noticing, so ing form. And then also when the students are showing the third picture, again, what she meant to say is when the students were shown the third picture. So she could improve upon grammar. Now the final area which the examiner will be looking at is topic development. Now under topic development, the question or what the examiner Now under topic development, what the examiner is looking for is that you speak for the entire 60 seconds and that the ideas are well developed and well connected. And again, in her example, she generally did a pretty good job. She gave the definition at the beginning and connected it to the experiment, and we were able to understand what took place in the experiment. However, where she could improve is perhaps being more accurate and precise within the definition because it was a bit vague. And also in connecting the definition to the example, she could have said something on the lines of, for example, there was an experiment to make it clear to the listener that an experiment was done, and this is what she is referring to. So overall, she did a pretty good job, and this is a good example of what you want to do when answering this type of question in the TOEFL exam. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and come back next time for more examples and reviews of speaking samples. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and come back next time for more reviews of speaking samples and breaking it down to show you how you can improve for your TOEFL exam. And if this was helpful, guys, please don't forget to like, leave a comment simply saying thanks or anything you'd like in a comment, and also subscribe if you are interested in seeing more of these kind of videos. Thanks and see you next time.